What is up guys, Tiktalek here, and this time we have the PTB coming out. Super excited, we have a new killer, a new survivor, new perks, I think a new map as well, and we have some Wraith reworks that they actually did. Finally they fixed the camera of Blight, meaning that normal people can play this character as well. So yeah, I'm super excited. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it and see what we get, starting with the survivor. Okay, our survivor is Young Jin Lee, if I pronounce that correctly. Very sleek model, very bright on the top part as well. I'm not sure how she is able to hide in grasses and corners and stuff. But yeah, let's see the perks. Starting with Fast Track. Sometimes the sacrifice of others is necessary to get ahead. Whenever another survivor is hooked, you gain 3 tokens, and you consume those tokens after a great skill check on a generator. Each token consumed grants 1% bonus progression for great skill checks when repairing generators. Now, if you remember, great skill checks save 0.8 seconds on a generator, meaning that with 3 tokens that you get whenever a survivor is hooked, you can save 2.4 seconds per survivor hooked on the game, other than you obviously. Now, this perk works all the time, meaning that there is no cooldown. Whenever a survivor gets hooked, you get the stacks, the tokens, and you can consume them all immediately on a great skill check. Now, this can help maybe if the killer is snowballing a bit, it can balance off the difference there, or it allows you to maybe gain that 2 seconds extra to go for that save a little bit faster and maybe clutch a situation. It's interesting perk, nonetheless. It provokes good play, it makes the survivor actually work on a generator, it helps as well the killer make hooks and stuff like that. Yeah, we're gonna have to see how this works out actually. Next, we have Smash Hit. When your rival makes a mistake, you seize the opportunity. After stunning the killer with a pallet, bring it to a sprint burst at 150%, your normal speed, for 3 seconds, and then you're exhausted for 40 seconds as per the exhaustion perks. Now, this perk is amazing. A lot of people have asked for this many times now. This is a baby of sprint burst and lithe, meaning that it takes both of the perks, the problems it had, like for different playstyles obviously, and it fixes them, because if you're not used to running sprint burst, for example, you've come to many situations that you're not having sprint burst during the chase because you wasted it somewhere else, because obviously it's not effective to run sprint burst and just walk around all the map. You have to use it in the meantime. So it may come to a situation when you don't have sprint burst during a chase and you feel a bit sad about it. Also, lithe, you may want to run loops during the chase with a killer, like an LT wall, for example. It has 2 windows that you can vault 3 times and spend like 30 seconds there, 40 seconds, depending if you're able to make a mind game or something. But the problem with lithe is that you can't do that because actually you want to use the exhaustion perk to gain distance to go somewhere else, you know? So again, you make use of your ability without actually wanting to use it. And with this perk, you're not gonna have this problem because it only works after a pallet stun, meaning that you stun the killer and you have all the time in the world to go to the other place where you want to continue looping. Simply amazing. I think this is gonna see a lot of usage during game. And yeah, let's go to the last perk now, Self-Preservation. Life's Unforgiving. The more confirmation you get of that, the more prepared you become. Whenever another survivor within 12 meters of you gets hit by a basic attack or a special one, Self-Preservation activates and you leave no scratch marks for 10 seconds. Now, actually 10 seconds is a lot, especially if you're in a healthy state, without leaving any blood marks or making any noises. If something happens, for example, and you're with a teammate nearby, you can get the hell out of there without the killer ever knowing where you went. Or you can also try to make a beamer play, a save, especially if the teammate went down or something like that, without the killer knowing that you're still there. So this provokes more of a stealth playstyle, to be honest. It's interesting because it requires a special trigger, like a teammate getting hit, for example, in order for this to activate. It's a bit more situational, but depending on how some people play, at least, you can get some value out of it. So yeah, Moving to the killer now. I think this is, at least to be honest, the best looking killer that we get so far. Just look at this. The Trickster. Apparently he has no magic tricks or stuff like that. He's more like a Joker style, with playing cards and throwing daggers, apparently. So yeah. His power is called Showstopper, a mesmerizing skill owned through a lifetime of practice. Ji-Young Hack unleashes a flurry of lives with rapid fire speed. You start the trial with 60 blades, similar to how the hunter starts with hatchets. So you press and hold the power button to wind up and enter the throw state. While in the throw state, tap the attack button to throw a single blade or hold down the attack button to unleash a flurry of blows. Throwing a flurry increases control and throw rate while decreasing movement speed. I think this is not accurate, to be honest, because as far as I have seen, if you throw a flurry of attacks, you start to have like a recoil pattern going upwards, so I'm not sure about that. You can, similar to Huntress, restock blades at lockers, and those blades are super fast. Laceration meter. A survivor's laceration meter increases each time they're hit by a blade. You need 8 hits in order to lose a health state. Once the meter is filled, this is 8 hits. And you either become injured or down. A survivor's laceration meter will gradually decrease if they have not been hit by a blade for a short time. Hitting a survivor with a basic attack will immediately decrease their laceration meter. And his special ability, Main Event, each blade hit fills the event meter. Once full, Main Event can be activated by pressing the ability button, and in this mode the Trickster temporarily unleashes his full potential. Wielding an unlimited number of blades, his throw rate is significantly increased, and his movement does not slow down while in the throw state. Basically, he's like a faster Huntress meets Plague, because you have to land 8 hits with your daggers in order to injure the survivor. Similar to how the Plague has to actually spit the survivors first in order to infect them somehow. And then a Huntress with the throwing ability, right? So yeah. Let's move on to his perks now. His perks are actually insane, and we're gonna start with Starbuck. Your unmatched showmanship dazzles all. Star Trek activates when you're carrying a survivor. Survivors within your terror radius suffer from the exposed status effect for 30 seconds. And it has a 90-second cooldown once the survivor is no longer carried. Now, starting with this perk, I'm gonna have to say that long are the days of survivors body blocking the killer towards the hook, because in the rare event that somebody actually runs this, even the fear of this perk existing will stop most survivors from trying to do reckless things. So in a way, this is like the opposite of how a decisive strike can affect the killer's gameplay. I think this is super strong, not an amazing gameplay changing perk, but just existing can put some fear in the survivors' minds. Now, moving forward to No Way Out, you're not going to let just anyone into the VIP room. Each time you hook a unique survivor, No Way Out gains a token. So basically, when the last generator is repaired, the entity blocks both exit gate switches for, I believe, 20 seconds. No, it's 10 seconds per token. 10 seconds per token, meaning to a maximum of 40 seconds. This is insane. This is another very demanded perk by the community, I believe, because it takes the end game, which is a bit of either too much action or no action at all, because a survivor is camping the last door, opening the gate immediately and getting the hell out. With this perk, you can have some very interesting endgame situations where you can chase the killer, the survivors, maybe hook them, maybe you're running Starstruck as well, and then they cannot come for the safe easily, and it can push some exciting gameplay, I believe, to be honest. I'm super happy for this perk as well. I think we're gonna see some insane endgame builds with Noed, Blood Warden, No Way Out, and remember me, this is gonna be insane. Like, the game will have double the duration from a normal game, but yeah. And lastly, one of the best perks that I've seen in the last, I'm not sure, many killers. Hex Crowd Control. Yes, a hex that ensures those lesser than you are properly herded. The entity blocks a window for 15 seconds after a survivor performs a rust vault through it. There is no cooldown for it, especially like an LT wall for example, if the survivor vaults both of them. Obviously not slow vault. The window is like it gets a bamboozle effect for 15 seconds and the survivor cannot like vault again. So this is insane. It's a hex perk, obviously they can find it instantly and you're running 3 perks again. But I think even for the early game, it can shorten the chases that you get, meaning that you can apply more pressure at the beginning of the game. So I think the idea of this perk is to have a better start, meaning that you slowly control the tempo of the mid game and exiting towards end game. This is again insane perk, I love it, it seems amazing. I will run it, I believe, on many killers. So yeah, that's a first sneak peek on the new PTB patch, to be honest. I'm super excited about the killer, he looks amazing. You have to see the Mori, you have to see the animations, it's insane, it's insane. I'm gonna post a video about it soon, maybe tomorrow, about gameplay. Maybe we're gonna try to find an early build for him as well. And yeah, I'm gonna see you guys in the next one, peace.